high intensity workouts are making you fat. Everybody's wrong about this, but I'm going to tell you the truth, and this is backed up by clinical research. If you're working out hard enough that you lose your breath, you're going to want to listen to this.
Alright, this is going to be part 1 in a 3-part series about why exercise is making you fat. I'm going to discuss and provide evidence for all 3 reasons why exercise is making you fat.
They are: number 1, high intensity workouts strip your muscle tissue, especially if you're doing them fasted. And I'm not making this up. Clinical research shows that if you're doing high intensity activities while at a caloric deficit, you will strip your muscle tissue every single time.
The first reason why exercise is making you fat is because it will strip muscle tissue every single time, especially when paired with a caloric deficit. So in actually looking through the research, HIIT seems to rescue calorie-restricted mediated reductions in lean body mass. What this study points out is that in a calorically restricted state, many people often lose muscle mass, whether it's due to insufficient protein intake or inadequate stimulus placed upon the body via exercise. But doing high-intensity interval training in a calorically restricted state is extremely effective for mitigating losses in lean body mass. Additionally, when pairing high-intensity training with a moderate to high-protein diet, we can see improvements in lean body mass. And this is another study demonstrating that high-intensity interval training in and of itself improves lean mass. But high-intensity interval training combined with essential amino acids can enhance muscular adaptations and increase lean mass. One big takeaway is that we can do high-intensity training in the form of resistance training. And this will absolutely lead to muscular gains given that we have sufficient protein intake. But if we're doing high-intensity training in a cardiovascular style, such as doing sprint intervals, such as doing higher intensity cycling, running, or swimming, in untrained people, this can actually lead to muscular growth. But in trained people, we would still want the stimulus of resistance training. With that being said, this study actually demonstrated that high-intensity interval training can enhance glucose and lipid storage in skeletal muscle, meaning that high-intensity exercise can give us a greater capacity to store energy, which can possibly aid in our resistance training performance. Therefore, as a byproduct of high-intensity training, we can put a greater stimulus on the muscle, which potentially leads to greater strength and muscle gains as a result of the workout. So it absolutely is not true that high-intensity training strips muscle off you every single time. But I will note that many of these studies highlight the importance of protein intake. And stick around for part 2.